Hi, I'm Andy Kinnery. Today you join me at the fabulous Maver Dynamite Hayfield Lakes, where I'm going to show you a little tactic I absolutely love, especially this time of year with a colder climate coming along. It's a tactic and it's a method that's going to put you lots and lots of fish on the bank. So just let me get this one in and we'll talk you all the way through it. Rapper. Oh. What a view. Well, of course, the tactic I'm going to be talking about today, or the method I'm going to be talking about, is the method or the hybrid feeder. What a fantastic way of catching fish. It's caught thousands and thousands of pounds of fish throughout the country. But there is some little tips, some little wrinkles, what I'm sure will put you more fish on the bank. Let's have a look through them and see how we go. Right, well, we faced on a peg today, and I'm not going to say it's your typical normal commercial because, you know, I'm fishing to a feature. We've got an island out there what's got a shallow bar on it, which is coming across, which, to be fair, I'm hoping is going to hold some fish. So any little features which you've got in your peg, any key features, even, you know, in the depths of winter, them fish can sometimes be near them. So it always pays to, you know, venture out to these features, look at these features and look to try and catch some fish near these features. You know, it's amazing sometimes, like I've just said, even in the depths of winter, a peg what might only be 2 to 3 foot deep, any little bit of that, you know, that real wintry sun we get, it'll warm them shallow parts of the lake up a lot quicker than some of the deeper water. So, you know, never be put off by the real shallow water. It's a real key, and it's a place where them fish like to feed summer. And just because it's winter, it don't mean they're not going to venture onto them places to hopefully have a little bit of a feed. But that's all down to presentation. It's not about building a peg up. You're just looking for that opportunist what's going to be there. And today I'm going to feed a line. I'm going to feed a line, not heavily, but I'm going to feed a line quite positively with pellets and a separate part of my peg. And that also gives me another option. If the fish are really aggressively feeding and want to feed quite aggressively, where I'm loose feeding pellets, I can drop that method or that hybrid feeder over the top of that, and it gives me another option. And that's what we're going to do today, and hopefully we sneak a few fish. Well, there we go. We've put it in right place. Round it's gone. And like I say, you know, we're not looking at building a peg over there. We're just looking for them opportunities. If we don't get a bite within a couple of chucks, chuck it a little bit further away from island, come into the slightly deeper water. And it's a fantastic method. I think people think sometimes you've got to literally build your peg up all day long, but realistically, we're just looking for an opportunist what wants a little bit of a feed, and this is what that one is. We've got him. I fed them pellets down the middle. If them fish really want to feed, they might have a go down them pellets down the middle. But if it's a day when you're only looking for a few bites, if you know, could be a day when we're only looking for half a dozen bites, and then it pays to be patient and just rotating your lines. There we go. Rotating your lines, picking up that opportunist. I like to think it's a bit like ourselves, little bit like ourselves. We might not be hungry, but if we get a smell of a fish and chip shop or somebody walks past with a bag of chips, we always take one. It's like, ooh, there's the opportunity. I'm not really hungry, but ooh, I can't resist. Boom, got you. And this method, what we're doing today, is exactly like that. You're just looking for that one opportunist what sees your bait with a little pile of pellets there. Got him. And that's what we've got. perfectly hooked, bottom lip. Nice little £4 carp. Let's get back out there, get another one. Right, let's talk you through the little tips and the tactics I'm using and the hardware which we're using here today at Maver Dynamite Hayfield Lakes. Firstly, I'm going to start with my rod. It's an 11-foot MVR XX carp feeder rod. Fantastic rod for this type of fishing. Plenty of power in it. Quite a thick tip, but you know, realistically, we're fishing a method, and the bites are fabulous anyway. You know, they pull the rod in. But I know for a fact, if I want to get to that island, which is, yeah, in the region of 55 metres plus to that island, this 11-foot rod is going to get me there, and there's enough power to get the smallest of feeders there. Even with quite an heavy weight, it's going to get me there. So, you know, that's the main thing. Reel wise, I've gone for a big pit reel. Again, it just makes life a lot easier in casting. It's got the biggest spool and everything on it. So, you know, make things easy for yourself. Don't be putting under pressure kit into a pressurized situation like that. So, no, you know, make it easy for yourself. Go with the big pit reels. It makes casting easier and everything. Line wise, my favourite line, MVR carp feeder mono 0.24. It's strong, it's powerful, it's robust. It ain't going to let me down. I can cast it there quite easily. Anything further than that, I'd be looking at using a lighter diameter and a big shock leader on it, like a 12-pound shock leader, and then I'd be using the 0.18, which comes off the spool a lot quicker and things like that. But today, up to 60 metres, I'm more than happy to use 0.24, and it gives me that little bit of pulling power to get them away from that island and that scaffold bar what's over there. So, all right, we'll come down terminal tackle wise. I'm using a little mini hybrid feeder today. You know, I think it's the choice of feeders what a lot of anglers use out there. It's just putting that little pile of bait there. I'm not looking to, like I was saying earlier, I'm not looking to feed the peg up. I'm not looking to bring loads of fish in the peg. I'm looking for one fish at a time. One fish at a time, it sets the perfect little trap, little pile of pellets. Your hook bait sat in among them. Carp comes down, it's inquisitive, picks it up, round it goes, gotcha, away you go. Repeat the process. Free running, as you can see, which is the only thing that's allowed on the majority of commercial fisheries throughout the country. I have it down to a swivel stop bead, a link swivel, which I'll go through with you. Hook length wise, 0.20 MVR rig mono, fantastic. I don't tend to drop down any lighter than 0.20. 0.20, 0.22 for me is the perfect hook length. Summer and winter. I said to people said to me, you know, are you going to scale down? It's winter time, but you know, if you get a bite off a carp in winter and you're only looking for that one bite, you don't want to be let down with your hook length breaking, stuff like that. Hook wise, it's a size 12 power air rig, and you can see I've got a pin, and hook bait for me, it's all about wafters. It's literally all about the wafters. Wafters, wowsers, washters, whatever you want to call them, it's my go-to hook bait in a variety of colours. You know, I've got whites, I've got oranges, these pinks, these yellows, these reds. You will find, and a fantastic tip for you, you will find there is one particular colour what works on your particular venue wherever you're going. For me on here, it's all about whites and oranges. They seem to be the go-to colours on here. But you can go to other venues and it might be yellow, it might be pink, it might be red. So, you know, anybody what says to me, it don't really matter what colour bait you've got on. Trust me, it's the most important thing. You know, it's what they want to eat. You know, why put something on the hook what you know in your own mind they're not going to eat? So yeah, method feeder, hybrid feeder fishing, it's all about wafters. So there you main keys. And there we have it. And it's just a case of loading it up and away we go. Right, well, even though I'm fishing across there to that island, I always need another backup line. The backup line is straight down the middle of this lake. It's the deepest water, and you know, where I'm actually chucking across to that island, it's literally 3 foot deep. So I need another line. I need another line where I'm going to go to, and if the fish don't want to be in that shallower water and they want to be in the deeper water, you know, the middle is where it is. So it's just a case of, you know, pinging half a dozen or so 8mm pellets on a regular basis, not over the top. And obviously the colder it gets, you know, the less you're gonna have to feed. But it's a throwaway line. That's how I class it. It's a throwaway line. If they turn up on it, happy days. If they don't, it's not really a line it's past the pole line, it's nowhere near my other feeder line, and like I say, if they turn up on it and they want to feed really aggressively on them pellets, I've got it there. So it's just it's another option of putting them few extra fish on your bank. Right, so while I've got this feeder set up, let's show you exactly how easy it is to load these feeders, or how I load the feeder. Basically, wetted down micro pellets. I've got these flavoured. These have got an F1 sweet, and I've got a little bit of sticky pellet syrup on them, just to make them that nice sort of sticky consistency, what's going to mould around my feeder. So it's really quite simple. All I do, I just drag the hybrid feeder through my pellets, to which I'm squeezing or pushing down with my thumb, so I'm making like a little indentation in the middle. Be quite firm, be quite aggressive with them, because, you know, at times you're going to be putting it through some deep water, and you want them pellets to stay intact on the cast, and well, obviously to get to the bottom is where you need it. Right, now this is the next real important bit on this. I'm wanting to bring my hook bait up into the middle of the feeder, and a lot of people ask me, I've got the swivel stop bead at the bottom and the link swivel which is attached, which I tie my hook lengths to. I think that's really important, and I can't believe a lot more people don't do it, because what that's actually doing, it's giving my hook bait a little bit of free movement. It's making the hook bait react and behave a lot more natural than having a quick change bead and things like that on. The quick change bead, in my opinion, you get the hook length that it sits more upright in the feeder, and there's a chance that some of these bigger carp in particular stand a chance of coming up and they touch the line, they feel the line and things like that. But with that link swivel on, it gives a full sort of 360-degree movement. So, you know, it's all about confidence. It's all about confidence, and I'm 100% confident that gets me more bites, and that's why I do it. So we bring up the wafter bang into the middle of the bowl, just like that. You can see I've got my hook facing just below it, and like I say, it's a size 12. It's a size 12. I'm not one for not taking any prisoners. You know, check out the hook length, check out the hook sizes on your fishery. Obviously, go within the guidelines of the rules. It's a 12 here at Hayfield. So there we have it. You can see it's bang in the middle of the bowl like that. I have silicone on my hook length, so it brings that wafter hook bait as close to the point as possible. I see a lot of anglers don't use the silicone, and again, it's equally as important as the hook size, as the bait or everything, because it keeps that hook bait right near to the point. And it's not like a pole rig. You know, the most important bit of this setup is how you have your hook length, how you have your hook bait, how you load it and everything, because once it's in the water, it's fishing. It's fishing, so you need every little bit of advantage you can get. It's a self-hooking rig anyway, so once you put that in, it's fishing. You need everything right. So we've got that bang in the middle, and then it's just a case of putting some pellets on and around the top. And again, a nice firm squeeze. Because they're quite dry but sticky, when the water starts to penetrate them, they will come off quite quickly. And I make it really as an aerodynamic shape as I possibly can, which aids in casting. You can see my hook length, it's going to lay completely out the way. So once them pellets have broke down and that wafter's there on top of it, it's every chance the fish is going to pick it up. That's how I load my feeder. Well, we cast out, the job's done, the feeder's at the bottom. I've sank the line gently. I don't want to move that feeder. Once it's on the bottom, I really don't want to move that feeder because it's starting to fish instantly. Now all I am doing, I'm just looking, I'm looking for any slight indications, any liners, anything, any, you know, chance that there's a fish moving about somewhere near my peg. But you can see I'm sat on my box, I'm sat comfortable. I've got my rod resting, I've got a feed around rod rest. Don't be putting it on tops of keep nets and things like that. Keep nets are for putting fish into, not for resting rods on. You know, you need a setup, a back rest, a front rest, and it gives you all the time in the world to stay comfy, because, you know, you might be waiting 1 minute for a bite, 2 minutes for a bite. Winter time, you might be waiting 20 minutes for a bite. So it pays to be comfortable, pays to be sat here at night waiting for a bite, and then when we get that bite, we are going to see it. It's going to be a proper, like, either a really good pull round, or it could drop back quickly, rattling away on the chip. You'll see that bite. Don't be striking at any daft little slow movements, things like that. The bite will tell you that it's a bite. Trust me, you will see the bite inevitably. The rod's caving in and the varnish is cracking on the rod. It's going round that quick. A little liner there then, but I'm waiting for that positive bite, which is going to happen any second, hopefully. I still keep feeding the other line. It's like it's a throwaway line. There we go. That was a positive bite. Like we're saying, we had a few indications, little taps, little lines, and then all of a sudden, rod's burst into life. It's belted round. There we have it. It's hooked. No need to strike. Just a case of picking the rod up, not gingerly, but you know, just picking up a nice firm lift, and it's on. They sell fucking rigs, you know, that's what a method feeder is. It's a sell fucking rig. And hopefully, you'll be rewarded with a nice carp on end. See so many people striking at silly bites, when really, wait for that positive bite, which is why, you know, the rod rest, the back rests are so important about getting comfy. And there we have it. We have a carp, absolutely nailed, perfect, bottom lip, exactly where it should be. You know, do check that out, guys. It's such an important thing. Check out where you're actually hooking these fish, because if your presentation through your method or your hybrid feeder is absolutely bang on, you will hook every single one of these fish either in the bottom corners or smack bang in the bottom of the lip. And there we have it. I don't know if I can pick him up. Not the biggest fish in the world, but certainly not a bad fish. So let's get him back. We've had a few fish out towards the feature on the island. I've been feeding my pellets for a good while down that middle. So I think now is the right time to have a little chuck over that. Bites aren't coming as frequent or as often as I'd like now across over on the island. Let's see if them fish have dropped down over them pellets down the middle, and we can hopefully sneak a few fish or a few bonus fish, or you know, it could turn around from the odd fish into a match winning situation. So let's try over them pellets what we've put down the middle. There we have it, just to prove a point, by feeding another line, it's got me another fish. We don't know whether it's going to turn into an only one, or it's going to turn into starting of a mega bag up session. But that is the sheer beauty of this method. I have fed that line, and I have fed it positively, thinking I might get a bite, I might not. But you're only putting a little bit of bait there, a little bit of bait on a method feeder, just physically trying to trick one into it, and it's obviously worked. But it's not always about build. You know, yes, we are trying to build that line up, and if it works, it works. But the majority of the time, like we said, going into the colder months, it's a case of casting round and just trying to nick the odd fish here, there, and everywhere. And by casting round your peg, working your peg, results in a great day. Proper scrapper. Here he is. Thank you very much. Lovely fish. Absolutely nail perfect, bottom lip, just where you want it. That hook's never coming out in a million years. And that could be the difference between winning a match and losing a match, having that perfect hook hold, having perfect confidence in how you've got it set up. So let's get him back, see if we can find another. That's proper. Well, it just goes to show, constant feeding, a few pellets down the middle, it's all kicked off, and we're into another one straight away. So by constantly changing, rotating your pegs, starting across there, looking around for these fish, them fish have obviously wanted to feed over the pellets today, and it's proved it with this one. So let's just take us time getting this one in. Not the biggest of fish, but certainly a nice fish. And obviously a scrapper by the looks of things. Smaller than a scrapper, just like me, I reckon. But like we've said all along, it just goes to prove, you know, don't be reliant on one line. It is a method that will capture a lot of fish throughout the year. It's trying to pull me in. But always give yourself a backup plan somewhere along the line where it can transform your peg from being an average peg to an absolute match winner. So here we go. Another 4-pounder. Absolutely nailed, bottom lip, just exactly where we wanted it. The method works again. So there we go, guys, what a fantastic day. Really hope you've learned a little bit from this video with little tips and tactics and about feeding down the middle, rotating your lines. So what I'm going to say is really hope you've enjoyed the video. If you want to ask me a question, leave the question in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can on it. I'd love to answer all your questions. Do like speaking to all of you, and that's why we love doing these videos. So like I say, if you want a question on anything what you've seen and how I've used it today, like I say, comments below, we'll get back to you. And until next time, when you catch me on the bank, tight lines, we'll see you soon.